Yeah, man. Long week, but we here. Got a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah,
You ready to
man.
do it, cuz?
Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geeks, where we encourage you to stay geeked. Listen, man, it is your boy Rev.
It's your boy Will.
Yes, sir. Listen, guys, we got a good one for y'all today, man. We talking DC and Marvel news. Actually, not necessarily DC and Marvel. We're just gonna talk about comic book movies in general. But before we do all that, man, we're gonna start with our spoiler discussion of Secret Invasions. So listen, man, if you guys have not seen Secret Invasions, please go ahead and go back and watch it. Then come back and give us your opinion of the show. But until then, you have been warned. What we always say, cuz? Spoilers, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. All right. Now listen, man. Like I said, we about to get into Secret Invasion spoiler discussion, guys. As you know, Secret Invasion just ended on Wednesday. It was only 6 episodes, so a lot to talk about here, man. Well, cuz what we normally do is we kind of give you our opinions of the show, and then we give you our overall rating, 1 out of 10 of the show. So, all right, cuz man, go ahead and let the folks know, man. What was your opinion of Secret Invasions?
Man, to me it was good. The Brody storyline was crazy because he didn't. I don't believe he saw Tony die. Um, yeah, I don't believe he saw Tony die. So I'm interested in how to overall what they'll do with that as far
Mm-hmm.
as like iron it out, give it more, uh, make it more definitive. Overall, I thought it was good. The ending was weird, like with the fight and everything.
Why does that sound
Just
familiar?
the yeah, you think that the selection of how they went with it was a weird option as far as having it truly giving the scroll the DNA of the Avengers and uh, and then having the scroll fight it out, and so now have one scroll that has all this power, and England. MI6 is essentially going to be head up on that, being able to, it's basically working with the squirrels to the US. And it was weird ending for them to go with that. It makes me curious of what route they're going with them doing that. Because I understand that they take liberties when it comes to the movies and shows and stuff. So that's what has me curious. It's like, where are you going with this for one particular character to have all these powers? Like what's going to happen? Are you going to use them? Does that mean we're going to end up seeing this person a lot when it comes throughout the MCU? As far as a global protector, uh, and that's going to allow for like more and more scrolls or more and more. Essentially, we'll be able to see the Avenger characters more often, just because it will have because this person has their powers. Like, so it was weird. It's just overall weird. But I think the show was pretty good up until that point of when they decided to go with that. Uh, the uh, death of uh, the my blank
Movie
Fury's
star.
partner.
Yeah,
Huh?
Maria Hill.
Yeah, Maria Hill. And like that was what we were talking about a couple several shows ago. Was the that was weird because how large that character is for her to die like that on this show. Uh, it's I would have expected it to be like bigger, you know. Uh, so that was also like weird as well, you know. Like it had this weird. Like I said, overall, the show was good, but it had its weird decisions on certain things. The death of Maria Hill, and then the ending as well as for one particular scroll. Yes, it's a good scroll or a hero that has it, but still overall, just having this one particular scroll with that much power was a weird trade off. What you got?
Yeah. Uh the show was pretty solid, but I think we're starting to get used to the fact that Marvel cannot stick the landing with these shows, man. Um the show's starting to seem very formulaic. The way that they is just like, okay, we're gonna do this and this in episode 1 and 2, this and this in episode 3 and 4, this and this in episode 5 and 6, and it feels
Yeah.
like endings are rushed. Um,
Hmm.
because I didn't the way that they ended the show, man. The they Like I said, they can't stick the landings for some odd reason. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that the show is only like 6 episodes, so you feel like you're having to cram a lot into 6 episodes. But I don't understand what the issue is with the sticking the landing. But we'll probably get into that here in a little bit. Um, but yeah, listen, they got the last episode. You want to know what the Rotten Tomato score is for the last episode?
Yeah, what was it?
It was an 8.
It was a what?
Yeah, you heard me right. It was a Troy Aikman.
They got 8 out of 10.
No, 8%. 8% on Rotten
Jeez.
Tomatoes. See, the last
That's
time I heard it was 13%. So I
yeah.
checked it now just kind of make sure you not got the numbers right. And yeah, it's whopping 8%.
Jesus.
Look, man. Um, like you said, it was a lot. Um, this is based off, of course, solely based off of loosely based off of the 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 Secret Invasion story run, one of the most popular story runs in Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it was a switch. In the comics they infiltrated the superheroes, and this they infiltrated the government or whatever, right? Which I don't mind. I'm not tripping about that, man. Like
Yeah,
if you
that's a good
execute it
call.
well,
Good call.
yeah, it's to ground it or whatever. But if you execute it properly, man, it can be a good premise. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
they did okay with it. I'm not too mad about it or whatever. Um, like I said, once again, like the first 5 episodes were pretty solid. Then you get to the last episode, and you always had this build up, man, of like it being it's gonna be the greatest, you know, season finale of all time, and just like,
Hmm.
um, like you said, look, man. Well, we gonna get into this part. I want to touch too much on this, but for the purpose of this episode, um, that last episode when she got all the powers and stuff, like you said, like so what now? You know what I mean? Like, Marvel has a lot of loose ends, man. Like I said, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Um, I didn't that part was kind of confusing to me now because now it's like you're the most powerful creature in the universe now. Pretty much, you literally have like everybody's power. You got Thanos' powers. You got Captain America's powers. You got Ebony Maw's powers. You got
Hmm.
you know
Captain
um
Marvel.
Captain Marvel's power. You know what I'm saying? You got all these
Yeah.
powers now. So it's like, so now what? Like if anything goes down, we don't have to call the Avenger anymore. Just call Gaia. She'll say, you know what I'm saying? She'll answer your call and
Exactly.
get everything cleared up. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand why they went this route. It didn't make any sense to me. And for them to give her like literally all the powers, bro, I was like, now see in the comics, the Super Scroll literally only has like 4 powers. Now if you want to include the different Super Scrolls of in the Secret Invasion storyline, that's fine. But the
yeah,
original Super Scroll really don't have four powers. And that's from the four powers of Fantastic Four, which I thought that's where they were going with the original, premise of it. Because I believe Gravik only had four powers. Was like
yeah.
the extremist. I think he had Groot's. Uh, what's the big creature's name? That was one of the children of Thanos. I'm blanking on his name right now. And then he had
Yeah,
somebody
County.
else. I can't remember. So it was kind of four powers that was similar to Fantastic Four's powers. You know what I'm saying? Because Groot can stretch or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Um, so I thought maybe that's what they were going with, which I wasn't mad at them. Like, okay, we don't have the Fantastic Four yet. You're going the route of the scrolls. So that's cool, man. Like, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. But
yeah,
then the harvest, you literally got every power known to man in the universe. You know what I'm saying? On one body, like, how do you even know that was supposed to work? Like, how do you know if your
yeah,
body don't reject, the DNA of Thanos or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
then you know what I'm saying, she automatically know how to control the power, and she didn't beat this dude handily. All that stuff, I'm like, just come on, man. Like,
yeah,
yeah, they got to do better, man. Marvel definitely got to do better. And this kind of goes back to what Bob Iger said about the quality and stuff like that, man. But like I said, we'll probably get
yeah.
into that here in a little bit. But yeah, man. Overall, it was okay. Like for me, I don't know why when these people don't stick the landings with the last episode, it kind of takes the show down for me a little bit. I
Yeah,
hate that.
yeah.
Cause perfect example. Remember to me, Loki is the best, has the best ending out of all the Marvel shows,
Oh
hands
yeah,
down. That's not even
yeah,
a
yeah,
question. Now remember,
yeah,
I was kind of
absolutely.
like, Loki, not bad. But then
Yeah,
remember when Loki, the
and
last episode, I was like, okay, that boosted it
yeah,
up for me, right? But this one, it
yeah,
was like, oh, okay, not bad. It's a pretty good show. Then that last episode, it's like, dang it, man, it just knocked you down about 2-3 pegs. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
um, I don't know. I can't say maybe they need to make longer shows because I understand time restraint, especially when you throwing out so much content. You got to roll them
yeah,
joints out like a conveyor belt. But with
yeah,
this, man, this is something they probably could have did maybe on the theater, man. They probably had better, you know, uh, not quality, but I mean, because the quality wasn't bad as far as like the
yeah,
CGI and all that stuff. It wasn't that bad, but I
yeah.
don't know, man. It's just it's yeah, Marvel's got a lot they need to work on, man. But yeah. But other than that, man, what do you give it a 1 out of 10, man?
uh, yeah, the last one, I give it a 7.2,
Yeah.
because like most of the show is just basically like is Samuel Jackson show. Like it's just him, just being himself. He not dropping efforts all over the place. Of course, it being Disney, but it's still just like him, just being himself, putting out a great show, putting on a master class of acting, and it's just enjoyable to watch. Like just the overall show, and then they hit the end, and it's like, bro, what? Like, it
Yeah.
just hurts. So
That,
yeah, I
and that's
give it
exactly how it
7.2.
feels. Yes, that's exactly how it
Yeah,
feels. Like, yeah, what just happened? Like,
exactly.
what are we doing
Like
here?
exactly. So yeah, I give it 7.2. It's a good one. It's steady, but like you said, when it missed the ending or missed the landing like it did, it just brings it down. It drags the overall down because they if it doesn't hit the landing, it doesn't really want make you want to rewatch the show again because now you know like it doesn't do so well. Like with
Hmm.
Loki, you at least get the intrigue of let me okay, maybe it was better than what I thought. Let me rewatch it and I know like the ending is fantastic. So let me rewatch it and just see about this again. But yeah, I give it 7.2. What
You said
about you?
7.2.
Yeah.
Hmm. Listen, the ending did not work for me. Like you said,
Hmm.
it kind of knocks it down a few pegs. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6.5, man.
Yeah.
Not a bad show. It was a solid show up until that last episode, man.
Yeah.
Um, just come on, man. Marvel got to do better with the landings, man. Hey, like, how do you get all the shows? How you miss lanes on all the shows except for like one, bro? Like, I don't understand how that even works, man. Like,
I have an idea. I have an idea. So We might as well go ahead and move over to. So, are you there with the discussion for
Be
secret?
gentle.
All right. All right.
You finna
So,
go
I
in,
don't
bro?
think
You
it's
finna go in?
no. It's not gonna be terrible. It's not gonna be too harsh. It's
Well,
just
before
gonna
you
be
start, is
strict.
there comic book fatigue? Go.
All right. So, I don't think it's fatigue. I don't think it's like fatigue as far as like you and I, or just overall people watching the show or watching the shows, movies, and stuff like that. I don't
Hmm.
think that's where the fatigue comes from. I believe that the fatigue is the what you said, the formula. The formula. They're being too restrictive for the formula. I think that's what's hurting some of the writing. The acting has been good. Like the actors that they have for these roles for become from the big box office movies. Let's say for because like even for Black Adam, it failed, but the that was because The Rock was too restrictive with it. You know, the writing was too restrictive for it. The was it Shazam fell because they didn't allow for the writers to add Black Adam or have Superman in it because Black Adam should have been part of that. That's
That's that was
one
more
of
the Rock's fault for that.
the yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like The Rock, his actions and what he did restricted the writing for it, which kept him out of it, which hurt it. I think that's what's. I think that's what has been the issue is the writing or the formula of the comic book movies of late has been an issue. We had the first decade plus of the MCU put together, which was a formula. It was a great formula, being able to lay the foundation overall of being able to work it. And then now got to the point of now you have all these shows, you have all these movies that you're trying to roll out uh, to uh, to be able to continue the story, and you can't be that restrictive when it gets to the size. At first, it was just the movies. It's okay to be restrictive because this at this point you're only dealing with the movies. Now you widen it up. Now you're trying to do like four shows a year and about 4 or 5 movies a year as well. Now you're
Mhm.
doing a production of 8 to 9 uh, a year, and you're trying to keep it restrictive. You're not trying to tell good stories because you're just trying to stick with the formula. It's too big now. You're
Hmm.
the overall the MCU is too big now with the shows and the movies to be able to be that restrictive. We've even talked about it that they should cut back even before Bob mentioned anything about bringing being able to cutting back the shows and movie.
Hmm.
We said that we said we think that they've overreached. I think that they should have a core set of shows that should be uh, they should drop each year. But those main shows, because those would be the main ones that would continue the overall MCU to where other characters that you want a show with, you can bring them into these.
Right.
They need to figure out what their shows are and go off of that. It's and the way that they've been the with them going with this formula, it's not allowing that. It has it now. Right now, they have it to where every character has to have a show without ever introducing them, and
Right.
they have these shows only doing being 6 episodes. Restrictive. We've talked about that these shows needs to be 10 episodes. It has to be. You if you going with this type of uh, continuation from for characters for the storyline, being able to move things to move the MCU forward. It has to be you have to go wider. This is what it's all about. The MCU is massive now. You've brought in the multiverse. You brought in space. You brought in all these different characters overall, and
Yep.
you you can't have a all these characters in a multiverse and only give it a one lane country road. It just doesn't work. That's where you start to have the traffic. That's when things are trying. You have to open that baby up, and you have to be able to allow things to flow, and they need to allow for the writers to write. We talked about it. I think you mentioned it last episode or episode before that when it comes to the both of us have just overall that the each show should be able to stand independent. Just a great show, great movie. It just needs to be able to be independent,
Mm-hmm.
but it still continues. Then it has a little part towards the end where it will be able to stick the landing, where it continues the MCU. That's what James Gunn does so successfully with Guardians of the Galaxy. Is he's able to do that really well.
Yep.
It feels like they gave him more leeway than other directors, but it's the overall, it's the writing. The writing allowed that to happen. So I think it's how restrictive it's been. I think it's the same thing for it's worse as you've seen all the flops of late when it comes to DC. It's because they not allowing the writers to write. They've been so many cooks to the kitchen as far as executive and
Mm.
um, the people in the boardrooms thinking that they know movies, but you're not letting the creators, the true creators, the writers, the directors, to actually show you why you wanted them on these projects. You get these big names, you get these people on there, and then you don't let them cook. You give them the ingredients, you give them the recipe, and tell them you can't. You have to stick with this. You can't step away from this. And if they try to, then you look for somebody else, and then you keep making all these changes, and now it affects it. I.e., what's happening with Aquaman right now with all these changes that's happening because
Mm.
too many people are dealing with it. Let the people be creative. You should give them an understanding. Hey, this is where we want. This is where we are. Overall, we want to be able to get to it. Do your thing. Be creative. Give us a great storyline. Do your thing, and just let you go do your thing. All right. And but they haven't been doing that. So that's what I think it is. It's been too restrictive. The formula has been too restrictive. The formula was perfect when you was only on when you were only movies and you had reasonably small amount of characters or super or main characters when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to it. It's too big now. You need to open it up. What you got?
I can agree with some of the stuff you just said. With the with the DC thing, I'm the complete opposite. The reason
Mm,
I believe the reason why DC did not succeed because there was not a singular vision.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
It's too
very
much
true.
different things going on. Like I always talk about the fact that Aquaman didn't feel like Justice League.
Yeah.
Batman vs Superman didn't feel like Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was not a singular vision on there. And the fact that they just threw out these random directions and said, yeah, just go make a movie. And then when
Yeah.
the movie don't work, we got to backtrack and do this now. Then that
Yeah.
didn't work. Oh, well, we got to stop and do this now. It's like they were so reactive, you know what I'm saying, to everything that happened. And that was one of the reasons why DC was starting to kind of fail toward the beginning of their run.
Yeah.
Look, man, as far as the overall, is there fatigue? No, I don't think there's fatigue, bro. I think the fatigue is people are tired of the mid to below mid shows and movies that's
Yeah.
coming out, right?
That part.
When I always use the example of when there were great movies coming out, when Marvel was on their run, people were dying. It was to the point that they were event films. People were like lining up, lines wrapped around the building trying to get in to watch a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah.
So at that time there was a fatigue. Why? Because you had good quality movies coming out. And
Mm-hmm.
now you don't have that. The TV show is starting to bomb, and you can wrap the Star Wars franchise into this too. You know what I'm saying? You hear me talk
Yeah.
about this all the time. I rant about this all the time with Star Wars. It's the
Um,
fact that it's the quality, man. It's the quality. The quality is failing. It's quantity. The quantity is going up, but the quality is
mm,
failing. Right?
yeah.
We talked about the fact that you heard me talk about this a million times. One of the reasons why Marvel is falling right now is because Kevin Feige has his hands in too many things. And
Yeah.
I said this the day they announced Kevin Feige, you finna run everything at Marvel now, right? And I said
He's
this. I said,
number
hey
two.
man, I said, yo, I told you this because hey man, that's not hey, that sounds good on the surface. Oh man, yo, Ken Feige got this vision, man. You saw what he did with phase 1 through 3. Now he get to
Yeah.
control everything, right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
But I also said, I said, hey, but at the same time, you're gonna be pulling this guy in too many directions, bro. Too many directions.
Mhm.
I can't control, like you just said a minute ago, 5, 6 movies during the year. Then you got 4 or 5 shows during the year. I can't control
Yeah.
all that. So now I'm having to delegate my responsibilities to people, which you don't look at things the same way I do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you might not even hear Kevin Feige might not even been part of Secret Invasion. Why? Because he over here worrying about the marbles coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't do
Yeah.
everything. So like you said, when it was only like 3 movies coming out a year, it was easier for him to kind of like, okay, I can oversee this, I can oversee this, I can oversee this. Now I like, damn, I gotta. You got this movie and this show coming out at the same time. I can't watch both of them. Hey, can you take care of that? I'm gonna go take care of this or whatever.
Yeah.
So the quality is starting to fall down. Like you said, the fact that we got too many characters that people aren't invested in. You didn't find anybody that took the spot of Iron Man and Captain America that people were invested in. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like you don't get a people time enough to breathe when you release these things. How many times you hear me say, okay, Moon Knight done, next. Captain Marvel, okay,
Mhm.
done, next. This character,
Yeah.
okay, done, next. She-Hulk, done, next. Like, well, dang, can we get him in a movie? Can we get him in another,
Yeah.
no, something? So we can, you have
Exactly.
to,
Back to back. Yeah.
exactly. Give us a chance. Not even
Mhm.
not necessarily back to back, but just give us a chance to drink this in, bro. You like we're taking
Mhm.
sips and then we're going to the next thing, right? Like you're not
Yeah.
giving the you're not giving the audience time to take it in. Like the reason why we we loved MCU phase 1 through 3 is because you were invested in the characters.
Yeah.
I can't get it, but now me and you know who these characters are.
Yeah.
Y'all was hear me use the example. Your mama, my mama don't know who these characters are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so you sit there and tell these people like, yeah, hey, mama, they coming out with a Moon Knight movie. What? I don't know who is that? What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't know. So when you come out with these movies, like I said, with these obscure characters that a lot of people don't know, the general audience don't know. Because I always got to use this example. Me and
Mhm.
you represent the 2% that go to the
Mhm.
movies. Just 2%
Yeah.
that go to the movies. You have to try to bring in the audience like your mama and your daddy and them who don't know who these characters are. Those are the people you're trying to win over. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, you're gonna come out with that movie. You have to have it. You have to bring it out to where these people can be invested in that character. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those characters, like your mom didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were, but guess what? They
At
lined up to
all.
go to the movies now. Whenever Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and 3 come out, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because they had a chance to be invested in these characters. You don't have that now. When is Moon Knight season 2 coming out?
Yes.
When is Moon Knight gonna be in a movie anytime soon?
I have no idea, man.
Exactly,
Are these
exactly,
perspectives are included?
and that's my point right there, cuz that's my point. Like you don't give people time to be invested in these characters. It's like okay, yep, Moon Knight's done next, and it's like you know, and like you said, man, look, I think Bob Iger touched on this a few weeks ago when he said the shows. I just feel like the shows aren't getting the same type of attention as the movies. It's
Hmm.
like okay, it has Marvel on it, so people will watch it. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you have to invest in those too, the same way you invest in the movies.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're starting to see that with the way that they're ending the episodes. It feels like everything is just cookie cutter with the shows. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like you can like you might not know what's going to happen in the show, but you can feel kind of what's happening in the show when it comes to the end. It's like okay, so this has been happening in the last episode. Like it's not like people standing around a water cooler talking about these shows like it used like the very first show that came out. It was WandaVision, right? Everybody's
Hmm.
pumped for the show. It kind of left
Yeah.
you on the edge of the seat. It didn't stick the landing, of course, but the show left you on the edge of the seat. It was something people were talking about, right? Now
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, hey, hey, you watch Miss Marvel? Oh no, I didn't watch that. Yeah. It's like when we ever had that with a Marvel movie or oh yeah, I should say movie, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Folks after.
it's like they're not taking the quality of the shows as serious as the movies. Same thing with the Star Wars stuff. You already heard me talk about Star Wars stuff. It's like the
Yeah.
quality is starting to because it has Star Wars on. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
That's what the studio heads are starting to think. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
like you don't care about the quality. Like just hey, let's just go ahead and pump this out. Let's make money off of it. Because if
Yeah.
it say Star Wars, Marvel, DC, whatever, folks will come, and that's the wrong mind frame to have, man. Because before then, before you had that mind frame, you cared about the product. You were throwing out quality product. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, throw this show out,
Yeah.
and it's just like, but but like I said, like the DC movies, man. We talked about the DC movies before. The thing with them, um, like I said, the singular vision. Like I don't understand why it took so long for them to finally make a separate studio for DC. I
Yeah.
don't know why. You know, and now I feel like that. I mean, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe James Gunn to come in here and start rattling off a bunch of $1 billion movies, but he's not going to do that out the gate. We already know that because of the track record that you have with DC for the previous movies. We talked about that
Mhm.
before, right? The fact
Yeah.
that they were not proactive, they were reactive. We talked about that before. The fact that you guys don't lay out a plan. It's the same issue I'm having with Star Wars. You don't lay out a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And if you lay out that plan and you execute that plan, you stick with that plan, right? Like that's what DC did. That's what Marvel did. Marvel might have had a couple blunders in the beginning or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Kevin Feige had a plan, and he stuck with that plan. You know what I'm saying? You don't be like you have one bad, outing. You're like, oh my god, we gotta, just scrap it all. It's like, no,
Change
that's
it.
not what you
Change it
do.
all. Change it all.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like
Yeah.
DC. This is why I said like the Superman Legacy movie is going to be very, very, very important. Not just because like, oh, I want DC to have a good movie. That's not why. DC has started a whole new division. Like I said, a whole new studio.
Mm.
This is going to be their first official movie from their studio. It is coming off the back. I know, like I said, me and you know that this is a reboot. It's completely
Yeah.
different. Me and you know,
Yeah.
but our moms don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
My mama wouldn't know that. She'll think like, oh, okay, Superman. I saw Superman in the movie. DC saw the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
I explained it to her like, yeah, no, mama, that's not the same movie. I mean, it's not the same character. It's a whole completely different. I gotta explain that to her. She don't know that off the
Yeah.
top of her
On
head.
this story,
Me and you know that, yeah. 'Cause
storyline.
we follow this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So for the general going audience, they're not gonna understand that. They're just gonna see DC tag to it and think like, oh well, I'm not gonna go see that because the last
Yeah.
handful of DC movies
Three,
didn't.
four. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, weren't good. So it's coming off the back of those failures. So it's gonna hurt the Superman movie. Now, hey, maybe the marketing will help or whatever. Maybe the word of mouth will help. But I don't know. I hope that's what the case is. I hope that it's good and
Hmm.
then the marketing and the word of mouth will help. But you know, just human nature. You know, it's like I saw that last DC movie, wasn't good. I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that, okay, James Gunn taking over. He did Suicide Squad. He did Peacemaker. He did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. All critically loved films and TV shows.
Yeah.
But like I said, I told you about Aquaman. I said I think that was gonna be bad. Like not as far as like bad movie, but as far as like it's gonna bomb in the box office. And it doesn't help
Yeah.
the fact that all this news coming out with the reshoots and
We should.
stuff.
We should. We should.
Look, man,
Yeah.
another thing about reshoots too. Reshoots is not a bad word. I wish people stop saying it. People think that reshoots is a bad word. Whenever you make a movie like this, they're going to be reshoots. Kevin
Yeah.
Feige literally schedules reshoots on every single Marvel movie that comes out because
Mhm.
he knows there are going to be certain things that when you're making a movie, it's just like when I edit things, right? I might like,
Yeah.
okay, I like this. I might finish the edit and be like, you know what, hold on, you know what, this might work in this. Then put that in there.
Yeah.
It's just like that with
Mhm.
anything that you create when it comes to television or TV. If you have something that you made, you might come something like an idea might come at the last minute. You be like, oh, you know what, I might
Yeah.
throw that
Just.
in there.
Yeah.
So that's why Kevin Feige schedules reshoots on every single Marvel movie because he knows they're gonna do reshoots. There's something at the end or something in the middle or whatever that they, let's go ahead and tweak that a little bit. Let's go ahead and put that in there. So that's not a bad word, but it seems to be a bad word when it comes to DC because
Yeah.
DC's track record, like I just said, their
Yeah.
track
If
record.
that.
So you hear them,
If.
failing and being things that they come out with being divisive. So
Mhm.
now you hear reshoots. Ah, here we go again. That's people's mind frame. That's where it comes from. But as
Yeah.
far as like being
Yeah.
reshoots, it's not a bad word, bro. Because a lot of movies do reshoots. We don't hear a lot about it. It's just that because DC has this history of how they run things, you throw in reshoots. Now it's a bad word. So,
Yeah.
but in the case of Aquaman, I don't. We have to wait to see the movies coming out. But right now, we're not hearing good things. which, like I told you before, I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
just it's time to go ahead and end this era of DC, man, and let's just go ahead and get to the James Gunn era, man, because
Yeah.
it's slowly dying, bro, and it is not helping. It's not helping the brand right now. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah. Exactly.
you know, you got the Batman coming out, you got the Joker 2 coming out, but that's not really DC. I mean, it's DC. I'm sorry, but it's not part of the DC universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I mean, those two movies can only do so much. When you're hoping that those come out, to where, like, say, I think that thing Joker come out this year, don't it? In October, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
believe
think.
so. That's right.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's October. So hopefully, that comes out, it gets good buzz and all that, and maybe that can help kickstart, a wave that's going to affect the Superman movies. Like, oh, well, I just saw the Joker movie, that was good. And I
Yeah.
want to go see another DC movie. Oh, Superman coming out. Oh, okay, let me go check that out. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully, but yeah, man, that's my little rant, man. Um, you got anything else you want to add to that, man?
No, I think we covered it because I was, yeah, I was just ready for that. Like this part of it. It's not fatigue overall, just actually being tired of it. It's just
It's the quality.
like, yeah, the overall quality
Like I
that's
said, people
been
weren't saying
lacking.
fatigue when it was just dropping hit after hit after hit after hit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the only time we would hear fatigue is whenever some article was trying to
try to push that
use it as
narrative.
a buzzword. Yeah, use it as a buzzword to try to get people to read their stuff. But outside of that, it's, yeah, I don't think it's going to be. It's still any fatigue. Just watch as soon as the everything improves, the quality improve, people will be right back watching, right back talking, because people love it. People love this stuff, man. It'll bring them right back. So yeah,
So let me ask you a
there's not
question
much to
too.
add to it.
Um, we know DC is rebooting. We kind of figured,
Mm.
Flash, the Flash movie kind of like ushered in the reboot,
Forced it.
pretty much. Um, so there's a rumor going around that Secret Wars is going to reboot, because it kind of did that in the comic, right? It was kind of like the
Yeah,
Crisis on Infinite Earth version of Marvel.
yeah.
Do you think that that's going to usher in a reboot for Marvel?
It should.
I was thinking that too. I think it should, because, like, look, you you want, like you said a minute ago, you want to condense things, kind of keep it more simple, and I think
Hmm.
that I think it's one of those cases where Marvel's kind of feeling themselves a little bit.
Yeah,
So it's like, oh, we're Marvel. We can just throw anything out and people gonna watch it, right?
yeah,
What kind of? I'm not saying it's what they're doing. It's what it feels like. So, like
yeah,
I said, when you're throwing out these characters that people don't have the time to invest in, that's what it kind of feels like. It's like we're just gonna just
yeah,
keep throwing out these conveyors of superheroes, kind of just feed this open stuff, the pop culture with these characters that a lot of people don't know anything about. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that maybe that's a way. Maybe you can get a little younger, because a lot of the
hmm,
characters, I mean, not a lot of the actors are getting older.
yeah,
Maybe you can bring back a Iron Man. You can bring back a Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Start,
yeah,
hey, bring back Spider Man within the beginning of the you know what I'm saying, the run. That way,
yeah,
you can condense it, simplify it, and then you can grow it back out. You know what I'm saying, and do
yeah,
it the right way.
yeah,
Maybe do 1 or 2 shows a year. You know, 3 movies a year or whatever. Just kind of condense it, man, and simplify it again. Because
yeah,
right now, this ain't it, man. And I kind of wondered that one day. I was like, when are they gonna actually reboot it? Or are they just gonna keep continuing this storyline? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
this would be the perfect time to do that, especially with Secret Invasions. I mean, I keep saying Secret Invasion.
Mhm.
Sorry, Secret Wars. Just like I
Yeah,
said, just like in the comic, it was sort of a reboot. Like, it kind of ended off certain lines and all that stuff and characters and stuff like that, and kept it simple. In comics they do it all the time.
and that,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So yeah, and maybe that's the way that they can do that, man, and they can start over from scratch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would help. That would definitely
yeah,
help. Like I
yeah,
said, you simplify it that way that people can start. Because, like you said too, I think too, a lot of reasons why with the Marvel stuff, a lot of people are kind of upset. There is no connectivity with the movies. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
Like, there's a whole lot of loose ends in Marvel that we haven't got answers for. Cause has anybody? If you still haven't heard anybody talk about that damn Celestial sitting in the middle of the Indian Ocean? Has anybody talked about that?
exactly. I know exactly what you were about to say.
Has
Exactly.
anybody talked about the folks that Arishem the judge just judged the whole entire earth? the dude is the size of the planet, so I know everybody saw it. Nobody talks
Yep.
about that. So we're not going to
Yep.
talk about the fact that this huge alien entity just floated above the earth and just said, "Oh, I'm gonna judge y'all here pretty soon." We cool with that?
Yeah.
You still having birthday parties and bar mitzvahs and get-togethers and all that stuff like barbecues? What are we doing? Like nobody saw
Yeah.
that. Nobody gonna bring that up.
It's just a
No,
blip.
where the heck is Vision at, King? Cuz where Vision at?
Yeah. Oh man,
You see
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, so what we gonna do with Gaia now that she's the most powerful being in the universe?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's too many loose ends that they're not closing, man. And it's like you had these loose ends that you're not ending, and then you're starting
Hmm.
off something. You're starting something completely different. It's like,
Yeah.
so we didn't finish this yet. Can you explain this? No. We're going over here now.
Yep.
Okay,
Gotta
all
keep
right.
going. Gotta
I'm
keep
with you
going.
now. So now this ended. Okay, so how you gonna end this up? No. Now we're over here now. But we didn't end. We didn't get a
And
closure on that
not
yet though. Like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you said, a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've said this a million times. Kevin Feige has his hands in too many things right now, man. Which is why it was a big deal that DC has two guys because you're gonna need multiple people, man, to help you. Which remember I told you. So before that tweet came out that James Gunn made 815 million years ago, he was
Mhm.
supposed to be Kevin Feige wanted him to be like his second in command, right? He wanted
Yeah.
him to be over the cosmic side of Marvel. Like he was gonna
Yeah.
start his whole slew of movies and all that stuff with the cosmic side of Marvel. That was his
Yeah.
plan. And so if you heard the interview with on Rosenbaum show, when Kevin not Kevin Feige, what's the boy name? James Gunn was on there. He kind of mentioned that he said they wanted him to run it before DC. They wanted him to run DC before. He's like, I don't know, man, it's a little too much. But he
Yeah.
said once they kind of threw out the idea that him and what's the guy's name? I'm blanking.
I know. I know. You don't know.
I ain't gonna blanking on the other guy's name. I apologize. But yeah, when he decided, they said that hey, he'll be there with you or whatever. He said, okay, cool, then I'll do it because you gonna need
Yeah.
help to run this, man. Especially if you are one of those studios where, like with Kevin Feige, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, he's gonna be running everything, literally everything. He's gonna be on the creative side, and like if you trying to be creative, and then on top of that, you got to worry about the other stuff on the outside. It's gonna be a little hard for you to do that, right? Hard for you to focus and give all your energy on this one thing. So,
Yeah.
Is it Peter Safran?
Yeah. I do believe so. That's what I was looking at right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna say if you look it up, let me know. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the man name. But yeah, he's gonna take the marketing and all that stuff on that side, and then he's gonna let
Yeah.
James Gunn just completely do what he does best, and that's be the creative guy, right? So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, like I just like Marvel got a lot to work on. Of course, DC has a lot to work on. DC did the right thing about rebooting. That's what they need to do, reboot, and I'm glad they're doing that, man, because it's about that time. But okay, now I'm done. Now my rant.
Yeah. Peter
Uh,
Safran.
Peter Sanford. Okay, yeah. Uh, but yeah, you got anything else, man? You wanna add?
Nah. Like we hit everything that I believe we should have hit when it came to the if it was any sort of fatigue.
Yeah, because I know that that's conversation kind of going around or whatever,
Yeah.
and people kind of look at trying to oversimplify things sometimes, and it's like it's more into it, man. That's why whenever we look at stuff like this, you got to put it into context. It's not the
Exactly.
fact that people just tired of comic book movies. I'm guaranteeing you, man, if there was great quality comic book movies, people be lining up to go see them like they did before. It'd be event films, pretty much. It's just that
Exactly that part.
the quality is not high, so people don't want to go see it. They can wait
Yeah.
till. Matter of fact, prime example, The Flash. You saw what it did in the box office, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it's the most streamed and rented and bought comic book movie this year. So folks were not going to movies to go watch it, but hey, I'm be at the house watching it, and it's making a lot of
Exactly.
money off of that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I say, like, man, it's not the fatigue as far as like the surface part. Like, oh, I'm just tired of comic book movies. It's like people are tired of the quality, man. That's what it is. I'm not going to
Yeah.
spend, especially with the price of movie tickets nowadays. I'm not spending that money, man, to go watch that. That's what they're thinking.
Hmm.
But yeah, cuz what are you watching?
Man, listen. So, finished the. We had talked about. Was it? Was it binge Black Mirror. Have you watched it yet?
I haven't finished it. I was on, I think episode 2, I believe. I haven't finished
Okay.
it yet.
Black Mirror is crazy. Did you notice the name of the second show?
Okay, I think I lied. I
And
think I did only watch the first one. Then I haven't watched the second one yet.
okay, so when you watch I would recommend go back watch the title of what they want to watch uh, in that first episode, and then just we continue seeing what you see as far as the name. It's pretty cool what they did. But Black Mirrors are fantastic per usual. Have been like 4 years since the last season. Jack Ryan was phenomenal as well. Uh, the I hadn't watched the Superman, the animated Superman yet. Uh, Harley Quinn just
You need
dropped.
to go. You need to go watch it. Wait, what? What'd you say?
Harley Quinn just dropped
When?
the new season. I think it was like yesterday.
Oh, I
It
didn't
was
even know that.
unless I saw something, some fake news.
Hold on, I didn't.
Yeah, I was.
No, hold on, cuz you
Yeah,
saying things
I
here.
was. I was just looking through stuff and saw something that just popped up as far as like new season of Harley Quinn just dropped. So it's like, wait, what? Let me just make sure.
I know this ain't professional, but hold on.
Yeah, season 4 just dropped.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, season 4 just dropped. Yeah,
What the?
yeah,
I could watch that
yeah.
last
It just
night.
dropped. Yeah, it had
I'm
just
glad you
dropped.
said something,
Like
man.
I said, I was just strolling through and just got the notification. New season of Harley Quinn dropped. Like, what? I didn't even know it was coming out
Oh
this weekend.
man.
So
Okay. Oh, I know what I'm finna watch.
yeah, so not watching it yet, but it's on the list to go ahead and get watched as well.
Yeah, I did not know that,
Uh,
man.
Then still gotta watch Dave as well. Behind on that, and Always Sunny is fantastic as always. Futurama has came back,
Yeah, Futurama came back.
and then of course supporting the writers and actors on their strike. But what you got? What you watching?
Man, I just watched that new episode of my Superman, my adventure with
Mm,
Superman yesterday. It's pretty good.
yeah,
It's starting to rev up a little bit, man. Um, I wanted to say something, but I don't know if it'll be a spoiler, so I'm gonna
it
save
is.
it. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about a person on there. I did not know this person was that person. I'm like, oh, now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah,
Um, what else? So me and my wife went to the movies. We saw Oppenheimer, Barbie movie, and then we just saw Haunted Mansion yesterday.
yeah,
What else? There's like something else we watched. I'm blanking. Oh man, did you know Invincible had a episode that came out with Adam Eve?
yeah. It's like her backstory. I hadn't watched it
Bruh,
yet,
I
but it's
watched it
supposed to be
last
like her
night.
backstory.
I
Yeah,
watched it last night, cuz leave me alone, okay? Listen, man. It was good. Like
yeah.
I was watching it. I told my wife, I was like, man, I missed this show. Like I just
November 3rd.
bro, the fight choreography in that cartoon is crazy, man. I was just like, yo, like, yo, and then watching that episode, boy, Adam Eve is a beast, bro.
Oh
She a
yeah,
beast. Like
yeah.
in that episode, she didn't really have a understanding of her powers yet, right? It's like it's a backstory, so she really
Yeah,
didn't have an understanding of her powers yet. Man, listen, bro, that girl, man, she a beast, bro. I
yeah,
know in the comics, like it's funny, like when you see it in the comics, like you don't really get the full understanding as far as like the full like visual understanding until you actually see it on the screen and they show it, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, she. 'Cause I knew like she
yeah,
was bad in the comics or whatever, like man, and yeah, she a beast, bro. She a beast. But yeah, I was watching that. I feel like it's something I'm forgetting. When I watched. Oh, I rewatched Transformers on Paramount.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Such a
good,
great
man.
movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that movie, man. Um, and other than that, I think that's probably all I've been watching. But yeah, go watch that Adventure of Superman, bro. There's a
yeah.
certain
I
character in
get
that
it.
movie. I mean, in that show that I didn't know it was him, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, it's starting to make sense. Like it's
Yeah.
of course, it's a different rendering of the Superman story, so it's a little different. Which I don't mind that, man. It's entertaining. I like
Yeah.
it. It's pretty good though, man. It's pretty good. You got anything else?
The Invincible drops November 3rd. Uh, there's a rumor that Spider Man might be in it. The animated Spider
Oh
Man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard about that. Yeah, yeah. I heard about
So
that.
I'm curious if because I saw that there was they did a comic book crossover or team up
Yeah.
with the two of them.
Well,
Uh,
like a split second. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm intrigued of how that's going to go. But outside of that, no, I don't have anything else.
Well, all right, man. I don't have anything else either. So I guess we can go ahead and wrap the show up here, man. We appreciate everybody rocking with us for a brand new episode of We're Geek, guys. Listen, we'll be back here next Saturday. Don't know what we're gonna talk about yet, guys, but just go ahead and tune in. We're gonna definitely be on it, man. We're gonna definitely be on it. I'm trying to think, is there a movie releasing coming up here? Uh,
We should be able to talk Barbenheimer. Because this past week I didn't have a chance at all to catch either of them. But especially since Barbie did so well in the box office.
yeah,
I was about to say everybody loving it that has seen it, but you have a certain group of folks that's hating on Barbie movies, so we can discuss
you
that
know
as
what?
well.
It's funny. I told my wife. I said after watching the movie, I said, yeah, you already know what's gonna happen online. I'm gonna tell you right now. And it was literally going in
Yeah.
your face in the movie. So I was like, yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
some people on her mad online. I'm not gonna say no names,
Okay.
but yeah. But yeah, man. Listen, guys, it is your boy Real.
It's your boy Will.
Stay geeks. We out. Yeah, we back, baby.